Hello beautiful ones, and welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to have you here and connect with you again for another week, just documenting my experience along my level up journey with you. And in the case that you are new here, my name is Leisha and I've been documenting my personal leveling up journey since 2020. I have been sharing my transformation from broke beach bum into feminine, elegant, and affluent woman. If you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe and join me so that you never miss a video when I typically upload on Sundays. In today's video, I am going to be having a little bit of a heart-to-heart, a discussion just about where I am. There's been this intersection of my career, my work, with leveling up and motherhood, and I guess my experience and where I am shifting is changing a little bit. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that because it has been, I think since I returned from maternity leave, it has been just an ongoing trying to just figure that out and what life looks like. And I think someone left a very insightful and thoughtful comment on my daily level up routine video that I posted a couple of weeks ago now. And it really sums it up, how motherhood is just bringing such requirement to increase my ability to be flexible and adaptable and embrace frequent change, and the reality that I am not the only one that's in control. Along with my husband and I make a lot of decisions together. And up until now, with my career and my work and business, and even being able to travel and sort of spend time as I wish, I've been able to have a lot of control over that, more so than, I'm really grateful. My husband really has encouraged me so much to go out and do things that interest me in business and in my career. Now I feel like I'm just being tugged more into the motherhood role. And so I want to talk a little bit about what that looks like in reference to leveling up in my life and where I am hoping to go in this season of life of motherhood. First, just a little disclaimer that I want to put out there because, again, I'm here documenting my personal journey. This is my personal level up journey. And so what I share, the thoughts that I share, are really kind of tailored to my unique experience. Please keep in mind that there is so much that I still keep private about my life. And in fact, that was another video topic that I was going to be sharing on today, but I decided to talk about this instead, and I think a lot of times we look for advice, we look to other people's experiences, which I think can be wise, but we do so without realizing or even logistically being able to see the full picture, okay? So that is something that I wanted to share just as a little thought to keep in mind while I talk about my experience. And, this is, again, just more of a personal update for you all that have been along with me in this journey. I do recognize that a lot of what I'm experiencing right now is choice-based. And so that is something that, I've talked a little bit about, I think, in a video of, what I wish I would have known about my 20s, or some things that I not necessarily regret, but would have done differently when I was younger. And that is realizing that a lot of what we do live through and our circumstances are actually choice-based, and that we do have the choice to show up how, we want to each day. And a lot of times, especially when I was younger, I would sort of put that responsibility on other people or situations. And, I really do recognize that the way that we are choosing to raise our family now and go about our work and our, supporting our livelihood is choice-based. And so for me, for many, many years, I have chosen to work at a very high corporate level, but also have a lot of projects below that were freelance. And I worked, as a virtual assistant for many years before I even started in the corporate space, and I kept doing that on nights and weekends just as a way to further get ahead, to invest, to pay off debt. And I was very successful with that, and I met a lot of goals with that approach. And not all of us have that capacity, that ability to, or even desire. Maybe it's not just, you probably have the ability, maybe it's just not the desire to want to spend time doing as much as I've been doing over the past several years. And that's okay. That's just how I'm wired. I am wired to, need to be growing and pursuing, and I don't feel rejuvenated, like I mentioned in a previous video with my daily routine, that when I, sit and veg out watching Netflix, I don't feel rejuvenated. I feel so energized when I am working on a goal or working on something. And, sometimes I have to be very careful, and I have to talk to my therapist a lot about how I can get a little bit to the extreme, and I can get disappointed when I don't reach goals fast enough. And so that's just a little bit of a personal, recognition that I have chosen certain aspects of my life, and my husband and I have chosen certain aspects of how we live together and support our life. So that's something that, I have recognized when I talk about these next few topics or just experiences when it relates to my work and my career and motherhood, and what I'm changing about that. I want to also recognize that where I'm at now is such a blessing, and it didn't just happen by chance. There are a lot of things that have been going on between my husband and I to pivot as quickly as we have and get to where we're hoping to get. And that is where, I've taken a step back from my corporate job. I am working on my virtual assistant business, where I'm really, an expert, almost Facebook marketing manager and Google Ads manager, amongst other things that are related to digital marketing. And however, even from that point, as my daughter gets older, I am planning to take more of a step back from that and focus more on motherhood and taking care of my home and my family. And my husband and I have just very much so gone a little bit more into what we value and how we want to raise our family. And it's just not looking like me having a greater role in bringing in income. And so that's been really hard for me to accept, because I genuinely have loved my career, and I have loved being a project manager. I have loved marketing. I have loved the people I've worked with and the company I worked for. And there has been a lot going on. I think a lot with my postpartum depression was also sort of realizing that my career and the amount of focus and clarity of thought that I had before when I was working would just never be the same. It's just like, my home and my family and my feminine role in that has just been, exponentially increased in what takes up my thoughts and where I'm at when I lay my head down on the pillow every day, and so that's just where I am. I remember when I was just back from maternity leave. This is probably my one guilty pleasure on maternity leave, was I did indulge in a little bit more Netflix. I watched this show, Selling Sunset, and I remember there's a real estate agent on there, Mary, and she has a son from a previous marriage, but she wants to grow her family in her current marriage now, and she's also up for a promotion at the brokerage, and she's having to go back and forth between that. I recognize that we are in a society that has just such amazing opportunities for women in their careers right now. And there are some amazing women that I look up to in my level up journey that have fantastic careers and are fantastic mothers raising their families and have a wonderful marriage. And so it's not an either or, and I think it can be a both and. But for me, there have been some things that are influencing me right now to lean more towards being a focused mother and homemaker and wife. For one thing, my husband's career trajectory has just outpaced mine by light years right now, and however, the amount of hours that he is working is going up a little bit more with that. And so it's going to be more challenging, especially once my daughter drops from 2 naps to 1 nap a day here coming up soon. That is going to be so much more challenging for us to both get our responsibilities taken care of and have them be done right. Back to the choices point, we have chosen not to hire childcare right now, and my daughter is not quite ready to go to a school of some kind. For us, we just didn't feel like daycare was going to be the right decision, and we have some very strong desires to want to be the most present in my child's life, and that's for us. And again, I recognize that as a privilege, and I'm so grateful to be able to do that. And so she's waking up from her nap right now, so I'm going to wrap this update up with you. I'm very grateful for technology. I'm very grateful for the career skills I have built, and I would say to any young single women, especially, even if you are older and your children are grown, continue to build that education and your career skills. I know that they are serving me in my business that I can do still during nap times. They're going to help me to manage if I decide to hire out a whole team in my business to support my clients, so I don't have to give that up and I can have something that I can come back to. So don't give those things up. And I also know that my project management skills are such an asset to running our home. And my husband and I have a lot of plans for what we want to do still with our home and real estate. And so yes, but I cannot do it all by myself anymore if I want to continue. And so even with my videos now, I'm very grateful. I have a virtual assistant who is working with me, and she has been amazing. And so for a while, I will be honest, I thought I was going to quit YouTube. I've definitely not shared as much on Instagram right now because I'm trying to get my focus and my clarity back. That is below prioritizing my number one priority, which is my daughter and her care and raising her. And so that is where I am at, and it is exciting. I think that, being able to still maintain our level of, financial income and increase that and, invest and build our net worth, this is exciting. And in a world that has, a lot of negativity and a lot of circumstances that we could just look at and say, no, we're not going to continue to grow. We're not going to continue to level up. I'm still working through a lot of this, but I just wanted to say, here is where I am. And so you may start to see a few more sponsors come on these videos so that I can keep sharing these updates with the help that I have. But I just want to say before I wrap this up, thank you so much for being here and for listening. And I am just always so encouraged by your comments and the messages that I get and the connections that I have with you. I do this as just a project that is keeping me going and keeping me improving my life and therefore my family's. And I hope this has a greater impact on other women across the world. So again, thank you for being here. Please let me know in a comment down below if you have any advice or thoughts about this topic. I will definitely read those and have a little bit of a conversation as much as I can down below in the comments. So if you have not yet seen one of these videos here on the screen, I would love for you to check one of those out after this. And until next time, bye.